HOA Karen's next stunt escalated into something that was part comedy, part action thriller. She somehow convinced herself that her master key granted her the authority to enter my home. That morning, I watched from the porch as she strode up the driveway, clipboard in hand, her hair perfectly fluffed, eyes blazing with self-righteous determination. She believed that she was about to enforce some imaginary HOA authority and teach me a lesson. What she didn't realize was that every inch of that house had been fortified, electronically and physically, for just such a scenario. Her key wouldn't work. The front door stayed locked. The keypad flashed red. Alarms silently notified me of an attempted intrusion. Even the motion-activated cameras zoomed in on her, capturing her every flail and exaggerated gesture. Karen tried again and again, pressing and twisting, muttering, "This can't be illegal." Under her breath, clearly not understanding that private property laws far outweighed her HOA fantasies. I stepped onto the porch, coffee in hand, and leaned casually against the railing. "Karen," I said slowly, "you may want to reconsider your approach. This is private property. Every lock, alarm, and security system is active and legally mine to operate. You are trespassing." Her jaw dropped. "Trespassing? I have a master key," she exclaimed, thrusting it at me like a sword. I raised an eyebrow. "Master key? For the HOA? It doesn't extend beyond their streets. And yes, trespassing is exactly what you're doing." Karen's eyes darted nervously to the nearby driveway, where my vehicles were parked, each equipped with biometric locks and GPS tracking. She noticed the subtle blinking of cameras and sensors scattered across the lawn and began to sweat. One of my K9 shepherds, trained to patrol the perimeter and alert me of intruders, padded silently out of the shade, growling low enough to rattle the nerves of anyone unfamiliar with livestock-sized dogs. Karen froze mid-step, realizing her master key might actually trigger consequences she hadn't imagined. As she continued to fumble at the front door, I pressed a few buttons on my tablet. Lights flickered on inside the house, loud but non-lethal alarms hummed, and a recorded voice echoed from hidden speakers. "Unauthorized access detected. Property owner is armed and trained in defensive measures. Please retreat immediately." Karen froze entirely, her clipboard dropping to the ground. She waved her hands in panic, trying to explain herself, but words failed her. I just wanted to enforce community rules," she stammered. Her face turned bright red, a mixture of embarrassment, frustration, and disbelief. She had underestimated not only my preparedness but also the legal, physical, and technological defenses in place. I walked down the steps slowly, savoring the moment. "Karen," I said, "you may want to call someone to pick you up, preferably someone who knows the law better than you do. Or you could stay here and learn what happens when you trespass on a Navy SEAL's property." Her knees nearly buckled, and she backed away toward the street. One of my neighbors, who had watched the scene unfold through their own security cameras, later told me Karen's retreat was so dramatic it looked like a scene from a sitcom. Flailing arms, hair blowing in the wind, and several muttered curses lost to the summer breeze. Later that evening, I reviewed the footage. Karen had spent over 10 minutes trying to breach my front door, each attempt more frantic than the last. The K9 had silently circled her, the alarms had flashed, and the cameras had captured everything for posterity. I saved the footage, thinking it might be useful should she ever attempt another stunt, or for future entertainment. By nightfall, the ranch was calm again. The wind rustled through the tall grass, my cows grazed peacefully, and Karen had vanished from the property, humiliated, frustrated, and fully aware that her HOA master key was utterly useless against someone who was trained, prepared, and fully in control of their land. The lesson was clear. Never underestimate a property owner who knows both the law and tactical defense. HOA Karen had tried and spectacularly failed again. My home remained secure, my property intact, and my reputation as untouchable on this ranch cemented. And as I poured a glass of iced tea and watched the sunset over the hills, I couldn't help but smile at the thought of her retreating down the driveway, completely defeated.